It's Rob!
Tony! And I'm Jeff.
We're in gaming.
And that's you.
Hello gamers and welcome back to the inn. I'm Rob, or Warshack, whatever the one you want to call me works, and we are going to be knocking out some Rush Druid. I know this video is a little bit late. You've already encountered this deck, and I'm sure you've been, lethaled by turn 4 or turn 5. It's pretty intense if this deck can get the right hand, without a doubt. It's fairly cheap to build as well, so I mean, if you've got the dust and you want some easy ranks, this is a great way to do it. The deck skill cap is really not that high either. To be honest, you can kind of pretty much, this deck auto plays itself during the most part. I mean, sometimes you got to think a little bit how you want to do your play, but for the most part, like I said, it's very similar to Face Hunter or some of the other aggro decks. So off the bat, we're gonna get rid of all this hand. We're looking for turn 1 plays and turn 2s and turn 3s. Like perfect hand would probably be like an Innervate, a Living Roots into maybe an Aspirin or a Power of the Wild. So there you go. And then the deck list on the right-hand side. If you have any questions about that, feel free to let me know in the comments section below. Also, guys, again, we're not recording at the normal house or the office. We're at away from the house and office. So, yeah, sorry about that. And I have no idea why this paladin just quit. It's no problem with me. We're actually already on our win streak. So if we can win all 3 games, which... I mean, I'm not going to actually count this game as one of the 3 just because he just conceded off the bat there. But, yeah, so if we win all 3, we'll actually be rank 5, right? Yeah, we'll actually be 2 and then 2. Yeah, so we'll actually be 1 star in a rank 5, which would be pretty nice. And then, for those of you who are new, I always state this, we play 3 ranked games, and we win all 3. So if you're watching this, obviously we did pretty good. Alright, so opening hand, what do we got here? Going against a Priest, the Innervate, Living Roots into the Fel Reaver. I really don't see a problem with this hand. We can actually Innervate out the Fel Reaver on turn 3. If we had Coin in our hand, it would be a turn 2 Fel Reaver, which is really hard for Priest to get rid of if they don't have the Shadow Word of Death. So we're going to go out and summon the summon the 2/1/1 little Grootlings here, and then turn 2 we'll obviously just play the Hidden Panther, and then for turn 3 we'll Innervate out the Fel Reaver. So that's what it's looking like it's going to be here. Zombie Chow turn 1, coining into the Power Ward Shield on it to draw an extra card. Yep. So that's not too good. There's also a couple different renditions to this. Oh man, Darnassus. We'll play that instead of the 3/2 and swing for 2. So he's most likely going to, if he has something to kill the Darnassus Aspirant, like a Shadow Ward Pain, he'll definitely use that. If not, he'll probably just kill off a Grootling and then heal himself. Don't really expect him to do too much. Also, like I was mentioning about the deck list, I did put 2 Mark of Wilds in here. Some people actually play 2, I'm trying to think of what it is. There's like 2 other cards you can play instead of Mark of the Wild. When I think of that, I'll let you know. So... I think Keeper might actually be decent here, because I don't want to Innervate out the Fel Reaver for no reason, but, we'll silence the Darnassus to keep it. Yeah, we could actually silence the Darnassus to keep the Mana Crystal, so we'll definitely get value out of it next turn when we can play the Fel Reaver without having to Innervate it out. And we can actually Innervate out the 3/2 and then play the Fel Reaver next turn, granting us to have more creatures on the field, but then we're pretty prone to, like, a Holy Nova, coming up, but it's only turn 2, so we'll hold back on the Innervate. Maybe we'll pull up like a Dr. Boom and turn 5 Dr. Boom. That's pretty devastating for a Priest to deal with. So he's going to kill the Darnassus, probably heal himself. Oh, he's actually going to heal the Zombie Chow. That's surprising. Alright, so Fel Reaver time, and then after Fel Reaver is going to be a Ninth Loatheb. Always swing face. Pretty much the whole point of this deck, same thing as Face Hunter. You just literally go face as much as you can. Savage Roar finishes it off when you normally have like 4 cards on the board. So next turn if I draw Savage Roar, that would absolutely be insane. So we'd Loatheb, Innervate, Savage Roar for an what would that be? That'd be 2, 8, 16. That would actually pretty much be game. So it's 10 damage alone because it adds 2 to everything. Yeah, that would be game. It's crazy. Turn 5 lethal. Oh no, milled Dr. Boom, milled Power of the Wild. All those are good cards. Gonna mill another Power of the Wild. No Savage Roars yet. Swipe, and it's gonna draw me into a Savage Roar. Ooh, Force of Nature, that's a good card. Too bad. If we were to draw the Savage Roar, that'd have been great. So I'm pretty sure we're just gonna Loatheb here like I said we were. And and pretty much go face. I don't see her. I mean, I guess we can make some trades. Let's see here. Or we can just go face. We have 10, we have 12 damage, putting him at 8 health, and then the following turn, we've got Force of Nature. We could innervate out the 2-drop into a charge, so that's 8 damage too. So I really don't find a reason not to go face here, because we'll be pushing lethal next turn if he doesn't play a taunt. So he can actually kill our entire field here, that's fine. As long as, so it's, yeah, so we'll just, I don't think he's going to be, yeah, he definitely can't kill our entire field, because we Loatheb, so he can't even Light Bomb. And he can't Holy Nova either. He can try to mill us, but that really doesn't matter. It still hasn't milled us. Oh, there it is. It hasn't milled a Savage Roar yet, and then there's our Savage Roar. So he's going to kill the Fel Reaver, which is fine. He's going to kill that, which is fine. So it's going to be game over no matter what. And we drew into a swipe, which is more damage. So we're going to swing for 5, swing for 2, swing for 1, and swipe to face, but he already gave up. And like I was saying earlier with this deck, for the most part, you're going to go face every time. But I mean, if you've got a trade that like is really good, you should probably take it. Normally, this, like, let's say he has like a Knife Juggler out. You obviously wouldn't use Keeper to deal 2 damage to his face. You normally use Keeper to silence any taunts and or kill, like, you know, 2-drop Knife Jugglers that can really change games, especially against your deck, because a lot of your stuff is pretty weak, such as your Living Root Scrooch, your Leper Gnome, just things like that. You don't want it dying to, you know, a Knife Juggler ping. So going against another Priest, I would say Dragon Priest definitely puts up a challenge against this deck. So getting rid of Savage Roar, Swipe for sure, and keeping the Power of the Wild. This is good if we can get like a Living Roots. Oh, got a Living Roots and a Leper Gnome. So this is really nice curve right here. Especially having the coin, we'll be able to coin out on turn 3 the Shredder. And we have two turn 1 plays, which is great. Okay. Mark of the Wild. So I think this turn 1 Zombie Chow, but it's not really a Zombie Chow. It's like a even better than a Zombie Chow because it doesn't even heal me. Oh man, how do we deal with this? We play Leper Gnome, he's just gonna swing into it and heal his card. If we play the Groots, he's just gonna kill one of those and heal himself. And having a 1/1 on the field isn't that great. If we play Leper Gnome, coin into Living Roots, we have 3 cards on the field. He's obviously probably gonna kill the Leper Gnome. He's still gonna heal that. But then we can Power Overwhelming the next turn, giving them both 1/1, but that really isn't that great either. But I think having 3 cards to deal with is better than just him killing off one of our cards and us only having 1 left. Best the case. Because now we have 2 cards and we can actually Mark the Wild 1, make a favorable trade with his 2/3. Oh, fuck. Alright. We're getting bamboozled, boys. We're sitting up. I'm not losing to this guy, you know, playing bread and butter fucking Dragon Priest. So we're going to kill that, kill off our only little Grootling here. So unfortunately, we're actually going to lose our Grootling. That's a 3/1. We've dealt no damage. Actually, our Leper Gnome has dealt 2 damage to the Priest, which means we definitely have to kind of make... We're going for the longevity game now. I mean, there's no longer, you know, swarming the board, Savage Roar for the win. We're going to Darnassus and end our turn here. Unfortunately, we couldn't Shredder, and we had no way to bring him out. And we didn't bring out our 3/2 because his Wyrmus really doesn't have any way to kill our Darnassus, and having the extra mana if we pull Fel Reaver off the top is going to be nice. No Fel Reaver off the top. Alright, so do we swipe this? I think we do. Priests really don't have a lot of cards to get rid of. They don't have a lot of CC for just like 1 HP creatures besides a Holy Nova. And if he wants to waste a Holy Nova on a 2/1, that's fine with me. So it looks like he's just going to heal himself. He doesn't have the Blackwing Corruptor to deal 3 damage. And next turn we're going to be able to summon our Shredder and probably a 2-drop. Or we can summon 2 little Grootlings and then Power Over the Wild them. Or we can just make this guy invisible. Or we can go Charge Mode. Still, we lose 1 damage. I don't know. I feel like he has a Holy Nova in his hand, and he's waiting for it. So we're going to swing. We summon little Grootlings, he's definitely going to fuck us if he has Holy Nova. But that'd be so good, because then we'll be able to power the Wild. So I'm actually going to play it like this and play around Holy Nova, and kind of keep some cards in my hand. Because if he has Holy Nova, he's going to get so much value from it. But now if he Holy Novas, he doesn't get too much value, he's played it, and then we can swarm the field. But with these Dragon Priests, you always have to expect the Light Bombs and the Holy Novas on turn 5 and 6. Those are just devastating. And having the Keeper for the silence is absolutely essential here. That was fantastic. I really don't want to use the power, but we'll make the little Grootlings. We'll swarm the field, which I didn't want to do because if he has Holy Nova, we're going to be bamboozled, fucked, and out of options to pretty much do anything. Because we'll have 3 cards to his, what, 6? Yeah. And he has Sylvanas on the field, which is still a 5/5. Chill Maul, alright. So that's like also bad. Because we have another keeper to silence it, but the probability of drawing that other keeper to silence the Chill Maul is pretty damn low. And oh man, he killed our fucking Shredder. I was hoping he wouldn't, because then it would pop and we get a creature out of it. So now we're a little bit of a bad situation here, where I think I have to power the wild. We will not swing our creepers into it. Because we want the death rattle from our creeper to be after if he has a dragon in his hand. So oh man, I kind of also wanted to keep my keeper alive, but that doesn't look like it's going to be an option. So let's see if he has a dragon. I'm betting he does. He does. Alright, so we got 2 1/1s out of the deal. We're going to make this. I don't see why we wouldn't make it a 4/6. Or we can give it charge and kind of burst him down. But 4/6 is pretty much the best play there. We're going to use our passive, swing for 1. The reason we didn't play a 2-drop is, again, to kind of make sure he doesn't Light Bomb or Holy Nova. If he doesn't Holy Nova this turn, I believe we're going to make our 2-drop a charge, and we're going to use our little kittens to give everything +1/+1. So he's going to Villain's Chosen the dragon, making it a 4/6. That's pretty beefy. If we have a silence, though, it'll turn into a 2/1. Swipe, okay. So I think we pretty much just go face. I don't really see a reason. There's no reason to kill the 4/7. He can't kill my 4/6. So, oh man. So we do make this stealth or make it charge. We'll make it stealth. We'll give everything +1. We'll swing. We'll swing for 2. We'll swing for 2. We'll passive, save the swipe so he doesn't know what it is, and then swing for 1. I suppose I could have made that a charge card, because if he has a Holy Nova... No, because if he does have a Holy Nova, the 4/3, it doesn't die to that. But if he does have the Light Bomb, everything but our 5/7 dies to it. So Light Bomb would be pretty devastating for us right now. So he's got the Shadow Ward Death to get rid of our Taunt card. Okay, so I'm assuming he doesn't have Light Bomb because of that. If he still plays Light Bomb, that's insane. Alright, so the Twilight Guardian, does he have Taunt? It does have Taunt. This is pretty problematic, because if it didn't have Taunt, we had the game won, because we had 6 damage on field, 4 in our hand. So we're going to swipe this to kind of get it out of the way. We're going to kill off a Spider. We're going to play Shredder. We're going to passive. We're going to swing 4 to the face, and we can't passive, so I'm not going to passive. And we're going to, yeah. I was like, always use passive. Get armor. Swing for 1. So we pretty much just need to top deck Force of Nature. Paletris. Oh god. Don't make a Taunt minion. Oh, if he makes another Chill Maul, that would be so bad for us. Like, that'd be the worst thing ever. What did it make? A Mim's Head. Alright, I can deal with a Mim's Head. Mark of the Wild. Game over, baby. Mark of the Wild OP. Swing for 6, swing for 1, and that's GG, Priest Arenos. Nice, guys, nice. And I'm sorry I'm playing a Cancer deck, but this is definitely a really popular deck on the ladder, so I might as well, you know, I figured I'd show you guys. Plus, we had some recommendations for it. Alright, so we're going to knock out another game here. Looking at the deck list, we'll talk about that at the end. I don't see why we wouldn't. We always talk about it at the end. I'll kind of go over each card for you guys. Oh man, this position is absolutely destroying my back. I went on some major workout routine today. We worked out, and then we went on like a 3-mile jog, and then we came home, we ate some food, and then my buddy's like, oh, I'm going on a jog, you want to come? I'm like, fuck my life, of course I want to go on another jog. So then I went on another 3-mile jog. So I jogged 6 miles today after eating and working out. My back is done. And then sitting like in a chair is just devastating. Alright, so we're going to get rid of the Loatheb. I like the Leper-Gnome. I also like the Innervate. But do we really want to get rid of Loatheb? Because we can Innervate him out on turn 3. So he's like having a Fel Reaver. Not a Fel Reaver. I don't know. I think we should get rid of him. I feel like, alright, Living Roots. Okay, I can deal with this. Because now I see this being really good. Because we can Leper-Gnome, Living Roots, Innervate, and then make them all +1. Oh my god, here it comes. 2 1/1s. Coin another Living Roots, and then we can Innervate to make them 2/2s. How would if this guy's playing ramp? There's nothing in his deck to stop this. We gotta go balls deep. You risk it for the biscuit, boys. This is like the dream start. How could you say no to this? And right now, it's just like, he knows it's coming, but I'm going to let him contemplate. Then we're going to innervate. Let him contemplate. Let this seep in. That's some good seeping. And 1/1 to everything. So potentially turn 2, 8 damage on field. Oh, poor guy. He's probably just like, fuck this dude. Oh man, sometimes you just get retarded shit like this. I'm sorry, but it's just it happens. All right, so it's either passive and kill off the Darnassus. We need to kill off the Darnassus. That's just one card you normally always kill off, because him playing a 4-drop and then him playing a 5-drop on curve is just not okay. In advanced curve, and yeah. So we're gonna normally you never make trades, and it could even been a mistake to not play Leper Gnome there. But I just feel like him being able to play, that taunt minion faster is bad. And he also could be playing mid-range Druid and have like a Shield Master, which could be really bad. For our opening, that is. So we're actually going to Mark of the Wild, summon Leper, make a favorable trade with the Mark of the Wild one. So he definitely can't play Druid of the Claw, and we're going to swing for 4 more. So our best hopes is he doesn't have Druid of the Claw or Swipe, because right now Swipe would kill 2 of our cards. And then we'd only be able to have 4 damage on field. So he actually is going to have Swipe. Of course he does. What's the chance of this guy having 2 Darnassus Aspirants on curve, and then also the Swipe off the top? So we're going to do 2 damage to face, because there's really... I mean, normally we would always save this for like a taunt minion. But because we have no other cards to play whatsoever, we might as well just go face. And then if we're 6, we're at 4... We're pushing 10 damage, depending on what we draw next turn. I don't think there's anything better than a Swipe that we could draw on turn 4. There's the Druid of the Claw, which we were very scared of. So, of course, we're going to swipe this, swing into it with a mini group, play the Leper Gnome, swing for 4 to face. Very, pretty quick game here. So, again, a Swipe would be horrible. It would clear our field completely, but then we could top deck the Force of Nature for the game over. So, let's see if let's see if this is what happened, boys. Keeper to silence. Oh, he didn't even silence it. He damaged it. Okay, so he's still going to take the 2. He's going to use his passive to kill our Groots. Killing the Groots. Killing the Groots. Poor little Groot. Still did 2 to face, which means we just need to do 2 damage. And there it is, boys. This deck is just so cheap. Like, it's just so... You get wins on turn 6s, turns 4s. You summon 4 creatures, 2/2 on turn 1. Like, what could they do against that? That's insane. I see why everybody's playing this deck right now. A little late to making it, but ooh, devastating, devastating. Alright, guys, so we'll talk about the deck list a little bit, why I've got what I've got in it, and yeah, we'll just go off there. So, off the bat, let's take a look here. So we've got the double innervate. This is, let me stretch, hold on. Okay. Double innervate, we've seen why that's good. You're able to do combos such as play Fel Reaver on turn 1 if you get Fel Reaver and 2 innervates, which is absolutely fucking retarded. You also are able to, double Living Roots into a Power of the Wild. Living Roots is good because you summon the Groots, and the Groots put creatures on the field, so you're able to Savage Roar them, which create a lot of damage. Leper Gnome, obviously, the aggro portion of the deck. The Mark of the Wild, though, is pretty interesting. I like throwing it in there because it allows you to make favorable trades with cards you normally not be able to make, and it also adds a taunt to something. So let's say you're trying to protect your Darnassus Aspirant to keep a really nice curve with a Rush deck, or you're putting a taunt on a Fel Reaver so they can't kill some of your other cards. It's just really nice, and it definitely comes off the top pretty easily. Or it comes in handy pretty often, and it's a reasonable card. So, Power of the Wild, buff everything with 1/1. I mean, that's insane. Or you can make a 3/2 Panther with it. Either or works. Normally, you're going to use it to give everything +1. The Darnassus Aspirant gives you that really nice curve. It's also a card they're going to want to kill pretty quickly, and if they can't, it's a free, what is it called? Wild Growth. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. The Druid of the Saber, normally you're going to make this into a 3/2 with Stealth, but I mean, if you're looking to push lethal, making it into the 2/1 with Charge is nice, because when you add Savage Roar to that, it's a 4/1, or if you're, Force of Nature, Druid Saber, then that's 8 damage, which is, almost a third of someone's health. The Savage Roar is a staple. Again, Swipe is staple. Keeper of the Grove is found in every Druid deck. Like I said, for the most part, you're looking to silence with this guy, but if you have to do the teal damage to a creature, make a favorable trade with that, or hit face like I did if you have nothing better to do. The Shredder is just a sticky card. Even when they kill it, something else is going to come out of it, and normally that card at least has 2 or 3 attack. If you're unlucky, you get like an Echoing Ooze, but for the most part, Shredder is always on point. Druid of the Claw, again, we've seen why that's good. It's a 4/6 with Taunt, which is an insane 5-drop, or it's a 4/4 with Charge, where you can push more damage, like we saw in our last match there. The Fel Reavers is what makes this deck really work, is because you're able to use your Innervate to make those guys come out earlier, so even if they've got like a Shadow Ward Death, if you're a Priest, being able to play like a Fel Reaver on turn 1 or 2, I mean, it's going to take them at least 1 or 2 turns to get rid of it, which if you put in at least 8 damage to their face, that's going to be a pretty big chunk, and then milling your cards isn't really a big deal, because you're not going to deck out for the most part unless you play both Fel Reavers and it's, turn 6 or 7 or later, and then by then if you haven't won, it's pretty much GG anyway. The Loatheb is good. We've seen why that's good is because it stalls for that turn 5. Normally on turn 5 you have at least 2 or 3 creatures out. You throw out Loatheb, you're pushing 3 or 4 creatures, and it just stops them from being able to play their big CC to kind of kill your field. Also playing it against mages on turn 7, stop that Flame Strike, make sure they don't kill you with it. Force of Nature, I'm not going to explain that. And the Dr. Boom just fits well in every deck, even Rush decks, surprise it or not. This deck does run out of steam very, very quickly. You have no card draw in this deck whatsoever. So being able to, last kind of during the middle to late game is pretty good. Also, the bombs will win you a lot of games, surprisingly. The bombs hitting face for at least 2 or 3 damage each. I mean, you can't really argue with that. So, thank you guys for stopping by the end. If you, of course, have any questions about this deck, let me know in the comment section below. That's what I'm here for. The deck list, honestly, you can't really go without a lot of these cards. I mean, you can't play this deck without Force of Nature, Savage Roar. I guess you could possibly play without the Fel Reavers if those are too expensive, but I have no idea what you would replace Fel Reaver with, because the whole point is to innervate out the Fel Reavers. So this is kind of one of those decks where you most of the time have to have a lot of these cards. You can't really go without it. You can go without the Dr. Boom, definitely, but for the most part, Fel Reavers are kind of staples. So is the Force of Nature and Savage Roar portion. So anyway, guys, hopefully that answers those questions. Thanks for stopping by the end. I'm Warshack, of course, and happy whatever the hell day it is.